everybody, Jillian here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing day 3 of my Advent journaling with you guys, and I decided, since Christmas carols are easily my favorite thing about Christmas time, that I wanted to do all or most of my entries in my hymnal that I have here. If you guys want more info about this, how I procured it, things like that, I'll go ahead and link the video where I first used it and I explain all of that stuff. Basically, I found it in our church's choir room, asked if I could have it, and the rest is history. So I've got my Advent kit here along with some paint and other things I've pulled from my stash, and I want to go ahead and do day 3, and that is all about anticipation. So I thought it would be really fun to do that in the hymn O Come, Emmanuel, and I've got the devotional card here and am just so ready to put some paint on the page, use all the beautiful Advent things, and prepare my heart for Jesus this Christmas season. So I'm going to go ahead and speed you guys up and we'll get started. So for today's entry, I decided to use the reds and pinks paint-wise for my entry because on day 2 I had used the blues and greens and things like that and wanted to switch it up a bit. So I have similar pieces to what I had used on days 1 and 2. I'm using the Advent Bible journaling kit. That's where those cardstock stickers are from. I've got the Advent collection stamp set in addition to the one at the top of the frame that you can see there that comes in the devotional kit. And I'm looking through the paper pieces here because I wanted to use the bulb ornaments, and the blank ones that are on the far right, those came in the devotional kit, and then the more decorative ones that I'm going to use today, those came with the die cut paper pieces. And the die cut paper pieces are so beautiful. They have this gold foiling on them. I just love the detail of the illustrations. They're super fun. So to get the paint down on the page, I'm going to use Elaine Davis's revolutionary baby wipe technique. So I'm using the light portrait pink from Liquitex. It's the heavy body acrylic. And then I'm also using the satin candy apple red. This is one of the Target handmade modern paints. And just using a baby wipe to get that on the page. I typically don't use red paint, but I don't know. The Christmas spirit, let's say, just made me do it and was super into it. So I put that down first so I could go over it and brighten it up a bit, and then went over that with the light portrait pink, not waiting for it to dry because I kind of like how it looks when they mix together. And then I'm going to go in with some white acrylic paint after I hit this with my heat tool to help tone it down just a bit before I get my journaling and die cuts and things like that down on the page. So I'm doing the same thing with the white acrylic and the baby wipe, just going over that a smidge. So I decided to go ahead and journal this entry in the hymn O Come, Emmanuel, since we're talking about preparation and anticipation and things like that. So since I like to do things in threes, I've pulled out 3 of my favorite ornaments here, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my tape runner to get them down on the page. One of the things I love about journaling in the hymnal is I don't have to worry about covering up words or anything like that. There are really no rules. I mean, there aren't rules in Bible journaling either, but I know that some of us have a hang up about like covering the text. Anyway, if you want to get into Bible journaling, but you're just not sure about doing it in a Bible, a hymnal is a great jumping off point, or like a traveler's notebook or something. I would definitely recommend trying either of those 2 out to kind of get your feet wet. Next, I pulled the clear stickers from the Advent collection. I like using these on the page since they're clear. They don't add too much visual weight, but you still can see the paint and things underneath of them, which is nice. I'm trying to make a few other die cut pieces work, but I don't end up using any more, and instead I'm going to go to the stamp set here, and I love the little hand-drawn stars that are included, so I'm going to take those out, stamp them around a few places on the page using just the black pigment ink that I normally use. And then I've also pulled out the stamp that says Advent because I've been noting the day for each entry, and so I'm going to do that same thing here. I like to do things like that, keep it cohesive so I can tell, which entries came from which devotional. So I'm just going to use these pink homespun number stickers and use the number 3 for today, kind of layer it over the ornament. So it'll read Advent 3 just like the other entries that I've done so far. I had a bit of red paint that wasn't entirely dry, and fortunately got before it made a huge mess. So for today's devotional, Allie says, let's take a minute before all the craziness of the season begins and consider the preparations that were made before Christ came to earth as that little baby. What heart preparations can you make in anticipation of the Christmas celebration? So I thought about that, and since a verse wasn't provided, one thing that I like to pray as kind of like a heart check is Psalm 139 verses 23 and 24. And I'm just writing them down on top of the paint in the hymnal here. It says, "Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." And then I had a little more personal prayer on the bottom here. It says, "Jesus, remove anything in my heart that takes your place." And that is the preparation that I feel like I need to do before I enter into any December, because there are so many things that can distract me from the real meaning of Christmas, which of course is Jesus. And so it's been my prayer over the last several days. So now that I have my journaling down and that part is done, I'm going to go ahead and stamp some more of these hand-drawn stars. And then what's a December entry without some gold on the page? So I'm going to use some of this Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine and splatter that all over the page, of course making sure to protect my hymnal and the surrounding pages with a couple of Bible mats. Those guys are so handy. So that's going to do it. Here's a finished look at my page along with a couple of close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is going to be my last video for the month of December. So I just want to wish each of you a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a Happy New Year, and I will see you in January. I will be around on Instagram though, so if you want to see the rest of my Advent pages, just hop on over there. I'm at Hello Jilski there also.